Alright guys, I am back with my review of this week's TNA Impact Wrestling for May 2nd, 2013. And this really wasn't a bad show. I didn't really mind this week's episode. It's the booking that really was kind of what the fuck, especially in that Matt Morgan Sting match. But as far as the show itself, I didn't think it was too bad. Sure, there was another Rob Terry match for some reason. Then you had a Knockouts match that was kind of subpar, but it was still 5 matches, so at least that was an improvement this week. But the show starts off with Hogan coming out, and he calls out the Stinger. And Hogan apologizes for pushing him away. Sting accepts, and he wants to put together a team to face the Aces and Eights in a 6-man tag match next week. And Matt Morgan comes out. He's still angry that he hasn't gotten a title shot. And Hogan says his biggest problem is he can't keep his mouth shut. He's always running his mouth. And Hogan puts Morgan and Sting in a match. And the winner faces Bully Ray at Slammiversary. So the main event is Matt Morgan versus Sting. And normally I would say, okay, this is going to be a crappy match. And it really was. But it was still different. It was something new, at least. We get a video for Sabin. Angle's pissed off, and he's talking about how he issued a challenge to any member of the Aces. We get Zema Ion versus Sanjay Dutt versus Sabin. This was a fun match here. It was a little short, but I enjoyed it. Suicide won the poll for the next X Division match. Sabin hits a powerbomb into a Death Valley driver on Dutt across Zema Ion, and then Sabin hits a, I guess, modified Michinoku driver on Zema for the win. So, I mean, it was obvious Sabin was going to win this match, but it was still good. Jesse tells Robbie E they need Joey Ryan to help them defeat Rob Terry. He says he's just enough sleazy to make this easy. Bully's pissed off at Hogan and Sting. He says he wants Kurt Angle taken out. D'Lo Brown steps up and swears his colors on it. He's going to defeat Kurt Angle. Robbie E, Joey Ryan, and Jesse versus Rob Terry. This is very Ryback-ish. But Terry hits a double backdrop on Jesse and Robbie E and hits the spinebuster on Joey Ryan for the win. So they are really pushing Rob Terry hard. Why? Your guess is as good as mine. I have no idea. The guy is terrible. And I have to say, Rob Terry has an amazing physique. I mean, this is nothing with his ring work or anything. This is just something I think, just a observation. But his legs look disgusting to me. I don't know what it is, but that much definition in his legs just doesn't look right. It's something I've noticed for a long time now, but yeah, just his hamstring area and the quads and everything, it's just too much. Like, Jesse has a great physique too, but his legs don't look like that. There's something up with Rob Terry's legs. Anyways, I have no idea where... Okay, Rude and Aries come out, and Rude says Daniels and Kazarian were just trying to get in his head because they're jealous. Daniels and Kazarian come out and they say Rude and Aries are cheap imitations of them, and next week they will face each other for the #1 contendership. Spoiler alert, we're going to win. And then Bobby Roode says spoiler alert, something, I can't remember. Chavo and Hernandez come out. You can actually hear Daniels say, can we get through one of these without these guys? And Chavo says there's going to be a special ref for the Aries Rude Daniels Kazarian match. It's James Storm. My first thought was James Storm really isn't doing shit, is he? And that sucks, because I think he's really talented. And then I was kind of thinking, well, they did ask him to join up with this Fortune too, so maybe James Storm is going to join Kazarian and Daniels. Who knows? I mean, at least it would be something. And let's be honest, this whole tag team division is really going nowhere because you only got 3 teams. So maybe do something to change it up. We see Sting. He goes to see Kurt Angle, I guess to get him to join his team. Terry and Gail Kim are pissed off that Taryn Terrell is knockout of the month. Sabin talks about his win. And then it's D'Lo Brown versus Kurt Angle in an I Quit match. And basically D'Lo Brown grabbed the microphone. He says he's got to humiliate Angle, so he wants it to be an I Quit match, and then they start wrestling. And I was thinking, this is probably going to be bad, but it was actually pretty good. Well, it wasn't good. I shouldn't go that far. It was better than I thought it was going to be. It wasn't bad. But anyways, the Aces and Eights come out to watch, and Kurt Angle gets D'Lo in the ankle lock, and D'Lo quits. So the Aces are kind of like, what the hell, man? He's the vice president. And I'm thinking that D'Lo may be the first member to get kicked out of the Aces and Eights, which would give them a spot for a replacement. Maybe they could bring in a new surprise. Something to keep the Angle fresh. Then Angle calls out AJ. So AJ comes out and Kurt tells him he's the reason he came to TNA, and he wants to know if AJ's with Team Sting. He wants an answer by next week. Matt Morgan says he's the franchise of any wrestling company, and Hogan's lucky to have him. It's Gail and Tara versus Taryn and Mickie James. Taryn rolls up Tara for the win. Afterwards, all the girls start brawling. Mickie and Tara fight up the ramp, and then Gail hits Eat Defeat on Taryn and puts her in the figure 4 across the ring post. Bully's pissed off that D'Lo Brown quit, says he will deal with him next week, and he says it's going to be Bully, Devon, and Anderson for the 6-man tag match next week. A lot of promos this week. Rude and Aries promo on how they're the best team. Well, really, it was just Rude talking. Aries didn't really say much on this show. I don't know, maybe he was hungover or something, but he seemed really weird. Something was up with him. So then it's time for the main event. Matt Morgan versus Sting. Morgan comes to the ring wearing that robe. Sting goes for the Stinger Splash and gets hit with the carbon footprint and kicks out. He kicks out of the carbon footprint. So you're really trying to build this guy up as this huge monster, this giant beast who wants to go and take out the Aces and Eights, and you're going to have Sting, this old man, kick out of his finisher. I have no idea what they were thinking with that. So Sting gets him in the Scorpion Deathlock, a weak-ass Scorpion Deathlock. He's basically just holding the guy's legs. And Morgan gets the ropes, so Sting pulls him back to the center of the ring and puts him in another Scorpion, but this time he basically just sits on the guy like he's resting. And Morgan passes out. So Sting wins the match. And surely they're going to do something to change this main event. It could not be Sting versus Bully Ray for Slammiversary. Something's got to happen with this. And I'm sure it will, because that's a dumbass decision. But the Aces and Eights come out, and Bully Ray is saying something to Sting, and the show ends. So that was this week's show, and I didn't really mind it because there was some wrestling on here. I enjoyed the X Division match, the I Quit match, and, well, that's pretty much it. Those are the only 2 matches I liked, but there was some entertaining stuff, and I didn't mind the Christopher Daniels, Kazarian, Rude and Aries stuff, obviously, but yeah, I guess I don't think AJ is going to be the final member. It's going to be Sting and Angle and a mystery guy versus the Aces and Eights next week in the 6-man tag, and I don't think it's going to be AJ. I'm not sure who it will be. I mean, who really cares? After watching the show, I'm kind of tired of thinking about it. I'm just glad there was some more wrestling this week, really. But yeah, as far as this week's show goes, it wasn't too bad. I thought it was an improvement. At least there was some more matches. But TNA really has to do something booking-wise, because I know the ratings are down, and a lot of people are saying, well, it's because they're not building up pay-per-views. They're really not building to anything. But I don't think it's it. I mean, it's it's matches like Rob Terry every single week, and Sting versus Matt Morgan in the main event. Who would really care to see that? I mean, I didn't mind it because I have to watch the show every single week. So for me, it was like, okay, at least it's something different. But if I was a casual fan and I heard it was Sting versus Matt Morgan, would I really give a shit? Would that make me want to watch the show? Would I tune in to see that? And I don't think I would. So they really have to do something to improve this Aces and Eights storyline and just get the booking on track. It feels like everything is so sporadic in TNA. Just no rhyme or reason to a lot of this stuff. But anyways, that's my review of the show this week. I hope you guys liked the video. Leave your thoughts on this week's show in the comments, and thanks for watching.